Good afternoon, everyone. I am Tearsa Smith with WATE 6 on your side, and thank you so much for joining us for Pellissippi Strong, a virtual celebration presented by FirstBank. Well, we can't wait to have such a good time today. You are in for a fantastic event and to get to really touch base with those that you may not. We're talking about a wonderful executive right here in Knoxville, Tennessee. Today, we are going to start strong. We're going to stay strong, and we're also going to finish strong for Pellissippi State students. Thank you to our sponsors and community supporters for making this event possible. We're gathering on Lunch Pool. I know some of you all are saying, this is my first time on Lunch Pool. It is so cool. So kind of get to know it, play around a little bit. You get to engage with this platform and follow your participants using the chat and post or even vote for questions in the Q&A. We will also give away door prizes throughout the event and a grand prize at the end. I'm not going to tell you what the grand prize is, but trust me, you will want it. So that's all I'll say there. We are first kicking off our event by learning how to start strong with Knoxville's very own Allison Page, president of Magnolia Network, the media joint venture between Discovery Inc. and Chip and Joanna Gaines' home and lifestyle brand, Magnolia. The former president of HGTV and Food Network, Page joined Food Network in 2001 and spent many years developing primetime series for Rachel Ray, Giada De Laurentiis, Bobby Flay, and Guy Fieri. Her efforts were key to Food Network's record-breaking double-digit ratings growth and instrumental in the successful launch of Cooking Channel back in 2010. She later served as general manager of HGTV, DIY Network, Great American Country, and Travel Channel. Under Page's leadership, series such as Fixer Upper, Flip or Flop, I think you've heard of some of these, and Brother versus Brother garnered record ratings for HGTV. Now, she is launching a new network during a pandemic. Please welcome Allison Page.
Thank you.
Good morning. Well, good afternoon, Allison. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah, we're about to have a very good time. But first, we have to get to what people really want to hear about. They want to hear about the preview of Magnolia Network. You have something to share with us, a little sneak peek.
I do. We're launching in July, and I would love to kick it off with a little sizzle that shows you what's to come.
I'm sorry, there seems to be a slight issue with the link, but if y'all like to maybe skip ahead real fast, I'll figure out what's going on with the link and then we can come back.
Welcome, friends, to my kitchen. I'm just going to start by buttering the base of this.
Okay, so it looks like we're oh, come on, Sizzle Reel. We wanted to see that. We're going to go back to that video in just a little bit, but that's okay. Let's just go ahead and kind of kick it off with our Q&A. You've got some big things that are in the works with Magnolia Network. And obviously, you've got a little something that a lot of people are interested in, and that's Chip and Joanna Gaines. When you talk about a following, they surely have that. So first, just get us up to speed. With the pandemic, you've had to kind of hold off on the big launch. Where do we stand right now?
Yes, where we stand is a different place than we would have guessed, a year or two ago for sure. I would say when Chip and Jo decided to leave Fixer Upper, they really did want a break. And I think everyone said, well, that's crazy. People love the show. And they really wanted to put family first, and they knew that was the right thing. And a couple of years passed, and we stayed in touch and started talking about what would something bigger be. And to them, bigger was getting the opportunity to share other people's stories and, also reminding them the world's very excited to see them as well. And what if we did a whole channel together? And Discovery, which had purchased scripts by that point, Discovery had some experience in having launched the OWN network with Oprah Winfrey, and just the idea that someone who's on camera might also be really interested in being behind the camera and telling stories. So it seemed a little incongruous to launch a cable network in what we thought was going to be 2020 in a world where streaming was really taking over. But they often like to do what's hard and what's unexpected and kind of going a different direction than everybody else would. So we said, well, let's try, let's see what we can do, and had planned to launch last fall. And by the time we got to last spring, we had 1 or 2 episodes of a lot of shows, but not full seasons. And we said, well, we don't want to delay, but we want to have a full offering by the time we get to launch. And so after some weeks of really kind of struggling and just trying to figure out what would really make sense for the audience, we decided, let's postpone to the summer of 2021, and let's start on a streaming platform. So we're going to have our own app called Magnolia, which will have all the shows. We'll also have Magnolia Network featured on Discovery Plus, which launched in January. And then our linear rebrand, so it's the DIY network right now, and that will become Magnolia in January. So that gave us enough time. There were a lot of kind of starts and stops throughout this period of COVID. We've had shows shut down and then start again and stop again, and we're just kind of taking one day at a time. And I had a moment when that sizzle kind of stopped, and I thought, that's so indicative of this year, and in the sense of like, roll with it. I think starting strong means rolling with it. And sometimes things don't start exactly how you think they will, but you might be stronger for where you land because of it.
That is the perfect summary. It really is. That really defines the last year. You know, when I was reading your bio, and I always do a little digging when I'm interviewing people and kind of figure out who they are and what type of person they are. And you're really a great strategist. That's one of the takeaways with your leadership style. Nobody ever saw a pandemic coming. How did you, for somebody who everything in place and ready to go and plan out, how did you become flexible during this quarantine? Because you still have to have a successful, when all this kind of the world opens back up, as we say, you still have to make sure that your audience, you know, is there and they want your product. How did you just kind of make sure that things didn't kind of fall off the rails?
How did you know I'm type A?
I do my research is all I'm going to say.
I do. I like things in their place. Honestly, if we hadn't been forced into it, it wouldn't have happened. So I appreciate sometimes when things are beyond your control, because you adapt. And thankfully, I work with some of the most wonderful, talented people in the industry, and I'd say in the world. And, you know, after taking a minute of, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? We quickly circled back around and said, you know what? There's going to be opportunities in this delay. There are going to be stories, like we talk about the goal of telling authentic stories about risk and about vulnerability. This time is full of those stories. And now when we launch, we get to bring some of those stories onto the network. So there really are gifts. And, you know, when we started plans for the network, Fixer Upper was not, bringing that show back was not part of the plan. And I think in the course of the year, Chip and Joe realized that they missed it. And they said, you know, do you think we could bring it back? And I was like, are you kidding? Like, that's like the best news I've ever heard. But I don't think it would have played out as it did any other way. So, you know, being forced into an uncomfortable situation really netted opportunities if you choose to look through the right glasses.
We're starting to get some questions from our guests. So I'm going to dive into a few of those and then dip back into the ones I have for you. We have, let's see, what are some of the key offerings on Magnolia beyond Chip and Joanna?
So we're asked a lot, you know, what's on the network? And I think the expectation out of the gate was this would be either the Fixer Upper channel or kind of DIY Junior. And the truth is, the interests are so much broader than that. It's basically good storytelling. And for myself, coming out of channels that were kind of a narrow focus, and that was fun, and that meant you kind of knew what lane you were in all the time. But this is fun because we get to stretch so much further. So there's stories in lots of different categories of food and construction, design, gardening, entrepreneurship. That's what Chip says, that word, and then we debate, like, is that an actual word? Is it entrepreneurialism, entrepreneurial? Anyway, family, and really just stories of inspiration and hope. And Chip and Joe did an interview recently, and were asked by Oprah what was the network about, and he said the common threads are risk and vulnerability. And I just loved that framing, because the subject matter is really broad, but the kind of core message is kind of singular and really like on brand, I'd say.
Wow. Now, with your involvement with, networks like HGTV and now Magnolia, like, are you at the house redoing countertops and putting in new like, is that your thing? Are you into all this?
I'm sort of embarrassed to admit that I did not come to these jobs as experts in the subject. So, I'm not a great cook. Thankfully, my husband is. But I think there was that expectation at Food Network that if you worked there, that you must be a great cook, or if you worked at HGTV, you must be doing projects all the time. And I'm one of those people who's not very good at screwing in a light bulb. So, but I do think storytelling is what's been in the heart of the jobs I've had, whether it was CBS Sunday Morning or Food Network or HGTV or now this. So, I like to think that I can view it through the lens of any kind of viewer, and you don't need to be an expert in it to know what a good story is.
And you do have a news background.
I do.
Was exciting for me.
When I was writing down a couple of thoughts, just anticipating what questions might be, and I would say after college, I moved to New York to try to dance. So that was my dream. I grew up, with one idea, and I will say, I don't regret for 1 second trying. And I tried, and I waitressed, and I cleaned bathrooms, and I auditioned and auditioned and auditioned, and it didn't happen. But there was never a what if feeling after that, because one of the other jobs I had was logging tapes at night for Linda Ellerby's production company. And I was like, I kind of like this, and I like telling stories, and I like watching shows like biographies on A&E, and I wonder what it would be like. I fell in love with New York, and I didn't want to leave New York, even though dancing was clearly not going to be a career for me. So I made my way to CBS News Productions, and then CBS Sunday Morning. And, much like you, I love getting to bring information and stories and entertainment to people. And it felt like a good home. And it was interesting because I had no idea that's where I would land. I didn't grow up thinking I want to be in TV, or I want to be in food, or I want to be in home. I thought I want to dance, and what I thought was going to happen didn't. And then again, there are opportunities if you're looking in the kind of right direction that you might not expect.
So what made you, what was that thing that made you say, you know what, I'm going to keep going to the next level? So often we're successful at our jobs, but then we're afraid to take the next step. And obviously you've taken a few because you've made it to the top of the hierarchy chart. But what made you keep saying, I think I can do that, or I think I can run this?
I don't know that I ever had that kind of confidence or drive. What I knew was I liked what I did, and I liked who I worked with, and that I was so fortunate to work with people with different strengths, which I think is so key to success in an organization, and kind of acknowledging I can be kind of an introvert, and recognizing that you're good at some things and you don't have to be good at everything. But if you work with people that are good at different things than you, and you're not afraid to kind of question each other and poke at things together, you get to a better place. So it really wasn't from a sense of like, this is the job I need to achieve, or I need to move up. It was, do I like what I'm doing every day? Do I like the subject matter? Do I like the product that I'm somehow involved with helping put out in the world? And do I like the people that I'm working with? And if I can say yes to all those, it's funny how things just kind of work out. But that's really what it is about for me.
One of our guests, Don King, has a great question or subject matter dealing with failure. Often when we do these type of sit downs, we talk about how did you get to where you are? Do you have any failures that shaped you today? They were the moments that you learned from it and you figured out how to do things differently moving forward.
Yeah, I would, not to repeat my story, but I felt like, deciding that I wanted to dance. I think my parents thought I was crazy. I got a U-Haul and rented it and drove up to Brooklyn. And I think they were like, we're not really sure what you're doing, but good luck, you're on your own. And just that, I want to say fearlessness, because I think I was filled with fear, but kind of overcome the fear and say, I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna see what happens. And what I didn't anticipate was just falling in love with New York City, which I did. And so the failing on one level was success in finding something that I cared about on another level. And not getting discouraged by what didn't work the way that I thought it was going to work. And I think of jobs where, I think of jobs even in college where the jobs that I didn't like, learning that I didn't like something was just as valuable as learning that I did like it. So I worked in sales one summer and I was terrible. But I thought coming out of it, well, now I know that this isn't the lane for me. And so I don't recommend people staying in something they don't like for a long period of time. But I think as you're figuring out what you want to do, figuring out what you don't want to do is part of that journey.
We have another question, and it is, what is your way of dealing with the demands of your job and the demands in your personal life? What do you do for fun? Like, what do you do?
I do jazzercise in my garage every morning with my husband, and I'm not kidding. There's a jazzercise class at First Cumberland that we love, but it went virtual, thank goodness. And again, one of the gifts of this crazy pandemic, I would go occasionally on the weekends, but now we do it every morning. And when I tell people who don't know what jazzercise is, they say, well, is that like leg warmers and Jane Fonda? And I'm like, no, right. It's just like fun dancing. So that's what I do for fun. I would also say I really do work with the greatest people, and they are friends as much as they are coworkers. And I think every once in a while, my husband will say, it's funny how you really blur those lines. And it's not an intentional choice to do that or not to do that. I love these people and I spend a good portion of my life with them. So that kind of bleeds into my friend world and my family world. And if you're working with people that you like being with, I think you're going to have a pretty happy life. Absolutely.
I didn't see jazzercise coming. That kind of threw me off. So that was good. Often women in business or just women in leadership are always asked, when it comes to work-life balance and family, how do you take those kind of questions? Do you feel like, it's no different than your male counterparts who are doing the same type of job that you do?
I don't know. It's hard. I'm not sure anyone thinks they have the perfect balance, and I certainly don't think I do. And, the people I knew who worked part-time felt kind of stuck. That didn't seem like perfection. Working full-time felt like not enough time with the family. Not working felt like missing out on something else. And I don't know if there's anything that's perfect. But I'll use that again as an example of where the pandemic has been a gift. And I was, going to Waco once a week up until last March. And I've had dinner with my family more in the last year than probably the prior 10 years combined. And I mean, what a gift, and what a gift for Zoom. What a gift that you and I can talk like this, that I can talk to Chip and Joe like this, and that we can kind of stay connected. I'm so, so grateful. And I'm excited to get back to normal, if you will, whatever that means. But I think it will mean something kind of in between what the past year is and what it was before, I hope, because I feel like it's been a gift for me and my family, and I'm really, really grateful. But I don't think I have the perfect balance. I get myopic, I get in my world, and it's hard for me to remember everything else going on. So luckily, my husband helps and my kids help and my parents and sisters. So I'm lucky, but I don't have the right balance.
We appreciate the honesty. What's your favorite show? We will not tell. Just tell us, what is your favorite show out of all the network, everything that you've done? What do you still kind of find on the DVR? And we won't tell.
That's hard, because honestly, what I find challenging in a streaming world is it's not turning on and just whatever kind of comes up. So mostly it's like suggestions from friends or reading lists of like what's come out recently. I'll tell you, when we're in like development meetings talking about kind of what shows we love, I think about formats kind of through the past couple of decades that kind of speak to me. Whether it was, I loved extreme couponing, which that's my type A-ness. I liked Teen Mom. I liked, lots of different things. I guess on a personal level, CBS Sunday Morning, having worked there is probably part of the reason why. But honestly, even if I hadn't worked there, there is so much heart in that show, and such a breadth of stories. So that's probably my favorite.
So what are Chip and Joe like?
They are exactly like what you think they are like. They are two of the most authentic people I've ever met. They are two of the people least driven by kind of fame and money, as that's just not the reason that they do anything. They're very competitive, so they want to win, I think, in whatever they're doing. But they are so committed to family, and they are so committed to just good stories and what's beautiful, and whatever your definition of what beautiful is. And Joe talks a lot about her hope is that people watch the network and then get off the couch and want to go try something. And maybe that's painting, and maybe that's music, and maybe that's gardening. So it's not about here's a prescribed way of being at all. It's not go do this exact thing. It's like hopefully give you the inspiration to do whatever it is that's your thing, jazzercise, whatever.
Yes, we all might try a little jazzercise later. I'm going to at least Google it. Question for you. Sherry wants to know, how do you find the working community in Knoxville? Is it easy to find qualified employees?
Well, that is something I miss the most, is just seeing people in person. I done lots of interviews and meetings, obviously via Zoom, but there's nothing like being in person. But no, I don't think it's hard. And my experience has been both with just people in the community, and then certainly with Scripps, we had a lot of people also move here and just fall in love with Knoxville and East Tennessee and the work as well. But I think I'm just a really big believer in, if you're going to work hard and communicate well, I'm not a big believer you need this kind of degree or this specific school, or it's really about an engagement, a good work ethic, and treating people well.
That's right. And do you have any advice for, especially those that are looking to move up in whatever their chosen business field is? What advice would you give them to be successful at advancement?
That's a great question. I had an employee recently who called and was kind of articulating what her hopes were for kind of the next step. And I said, what if you had to talk about why you're ready for this next step in a way that I know you would fight for your employees to move up? Because it was easier for her to kind of advocate almost for people on her team, even more so than for herself. So it's having the confidence to speak your mind and having the confidence to kind of spell out what you're good at and bring that to the table and say, like, this is where I see myself going, and are there things that I can do to help get there? But it's not being afraid to advocate for yourself, and not being afraid to hear that there might be things to work on, and actually seeking that feedback, which is hard to do sometimes. Like, what could I work on? I always have such a great reaction when someone kind of brings that question to me, and I try to do the same with my bosses. But we all will forever have things to work on, and being kind of eager to find out what those are. I think that really creates a path to advancement.
Allison, thank you so much for just talking and letting us pick your brain, as they say, just kind of get inside and see all the great things that you have going on. I believe we have our sizzle reel. We kind of did a news thing and did a tease at the beginning. Yay! So that was your coming up. So now we can say, if we can go ahead and pull up that Magnolia Network sizzle reel so that we can see what's in store. Okay, how exciting was that? Check this out. I love Chip and Jo. I just think they're so delightful. Cannot wait to see what they have in store. But you know what? We've spoken to Allison. It's time to now focus on you all. It's time for door prizes, which is one of the favorite parts of any event. So if you win a door prize, a staff member will be in touch with you for delivery. First up is Magnolia Network, a Magnolia Network Yeti with a $20 gift card to go to Starbucks, given by Magnolia Network and Discovery. The winner for that door prize is Mavie Smith. Congratulations to Mavie. You're the winner of that Yeti. Next up, we have a $20 gift card to Simple on Severe, owned by Pellissippi State alum Kendall Ball. Our winner for that prize is Stephanie Jenkins. Congratulations, Stephanie. And then finally, we have a $20 gift card to Full Service Barbecue, owned by Pellissippi State alum Anthony DeFranco. And the winner of that door prize is Teresa Castillo. Congratulations to her. So we're still not done with door prizes, but those are our first three. So congratulations. Don't forget, somebody will be in contact to get that information, get your information so they can get you your prize. Now, Pellissippi State alumni stay strong to be successful after they graduate, and they go on to build their career and contribute to their community. Today, we recognize two of those inspiring alumni. Here to present our annual Alumni Awards, please welcome Dr. Anthony Wise, President of Pellissippi State Community College.
Thank you, Tearsa. We're off to a great start. Appreciate the wonderful conversation we've just had, and look forward to the rest of this event. Certainly one of the favorite things for me about being president of Pellissippi State Community College is the opportunity to get to know our students and watch their careers as they grow. As alumni, they are absolutely essential to our community in every sense of the word. They work in a variety of different fields: healthcare, construction, manufacturing, food service, childcare, as educators, technology, accounting. The list just goes on and on and on. And it's very fitting for us to honor every year an outstanding alumni as part of our Stay Strong portion of this event. Our first award is the Pellissippi State Distinguished Alumni Award, given annually to an individual in recognition of significant professional achievement, service to the community, and support of the college and the foundation. This year's winner is deeply committed to our community, and I am so pleased that the college can count her as one of our own. She's really part of the Pellissippi State family. She's a perfect example of a servant leader and a community advocate. Let's watch the video announcement sponsored by FirstBank. So I know I can see by looking at the chat that many of you have already joined me in saying congratulations to Vivian Underwood Scheit. She is our 10th recipient of the Distinguished Alumni Award. Yes, Tearsa, she did try to make us cry for sure. Very proud of the work that she does in our community and in Knoxville. Very proud that she is part of the Pellissippi State alumni family. So congratulations, Vivian. Thank you for all you do. Our final recognition is the Peggy Wilson Volunteer Leadership Award. At Pellissippi State, we rely on the influence, the service of our alumni to further our institutional goals. They serve on advisory boards, advocate on our behalf, mentor students, speak in classrooms, volunteer during events. And our volunteer for the year 2021 has demonstrated an ongoing commitment to the college by sharing his expertise, supporting students, and lending a hand to do whatever is needed, even if that means setting up and cleaning up a lab. Let's watch the video announcement sponsored by Discovery.
My goodness, if you are not inspired by our two winners, congratulations to Rick and Vivian. What just simply stories. I mean, you have inspired an entire virtual room. Thank you, Dr. Wise, again, and congratulations to our outstanding Pellissippi State Alumni Award recipients. Their accomplishments are truly impressive. Now, I think it's time for another round of door prizes. We love to give away free things. So our first one is this time we have a $25 gift card to Salon OC. The winner for that prize is Alicia O'Mary. It could be O'Mary, but congratulations, Alicia. Next, we have, let me find my next one. Oh, we have 3 Pellissippi State themed garden baskets, complete with seeds, ready to plant. And you have no excuse. Go watch the Magnolia Network. You can figure out how to do that. The winner for that, garden basket number 1, Joy Johnson Irgle. Number 2, Carrie Parrish. And garden basket number 3, Laura Birchfield. Congratulations. And remember what they said in that Sizzle Reel, you're not farming if you're not getting dirty, so get ready to get dirty. At this time, we have learned how to start strong with Allison Page. We've seen 2 fantastic alumni stay strong through their success and their service, and now we aim to finish strong, just like our Pellissippi State students. I'd like to introduce Anissa Rowland, Executive Director of the Pellissippi State Foundation, to tell us more.
Hi, Anissa. Sorry, I think. Okay, I can hear you now.
Testing, hello?
Yes. Hey, now it's working. Perfect. Okay, great. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for being here today. The Pellissippi State Foundation raises funds to provide critical resources for the college and our students. And whether it's a capital project, new equipment, or scholarship support, the Foundation Board of Trustees and staff are committed to filling the gaps that lead to student success. Our goal is to help students start strong, stay strong, and finish strong. Today, we'd like to introduce you to a few of the students receiving support from the Foundation. I think I may have had a camera foul earlier or a microphone foul, so I think I may owe some money to the Foundation. But thank you again. I love this video because it shows you who our students are and the challenges they face. You know, Pellissippi State serves the most vulnerable individuals, with many of them being low income or first generation students, and I admire their grit and determination to succeed. Support from the Foundation serves as a safety net for students, especially now. Our students are always climbing uphill, but their journey during the pandemic has been tougher than ever. They need someone in their corner to believe in them. So today I'm asking you to be part of their support system by making a gift to the Foundation. You have a chance to make a difference today. The ripple effect of your donation will strengthen families and our community. I hope you'll find the QR code or simply give online through the link provided. It's easy to remember. giving.pstcc.edu. Thank you for helping our students finish strong, and thank you to Brittany Sink and Angela Pugh for their hard work on this virtual celebration.
Thank you so much, Anissa, for really giving us a real-time look at how that money will help out students right here in our community to finish strong. Again, we absolutely encourage you, if you have not done so yet, to visit giving.pstcc.edu and make a gift to support those students so they can start strong, stay strong, and finish strong. Okay, it is time now for our last door prize. Don't email me because you did not win the door prize. I did not choose them. Another person chose these randomly. So here we go. Our grand prize is a 7-piece outdoor patio set generously donated by Home Depot at a value of $700. Okay. Yeah, I know. I see the wows in the chat. Are you ready? Again, don't email me. Our recipient of this gift will be Susan Arp. Congratulations, Susan. You are the winner. We will all be on your patio this summer. You have won the grand door prize for the afternoon. All right, thank you so much to our presenting sponsor, FirstBank, and to Allison Page for spending time with us. Our congratulations go to Dr. Vivian Underwood Shipe, recipient of the Distinguished Alumni Award, and to Rick Atherton Jr., recipient of the Peggy Wilson Volunteer Alumni Award, sponsored by Discovery, Inc. We appreciate the support of our event sponsors and to each of you for attending virtually with us today. This concludes our program. Thank you. Don't forget to give to Pellissippi State. Have a fantastic Friday and great weekend.